going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or for those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Tasha Luna. I post lifestyle videos every Sunday for y'all. And today I'm going to be talking about the NASAM CPT exam and my experience with them. So I took the course and passed the test in only a matter of 25 days, which I think is super fast. Basically I studied like hell, but I really want to go into depth and talk about like my actual experience with the course, my experience with the test itself, kind of go over how I studied, and things of that nature. So I'm going to break this video up into 3 sections. Section 1 is going to be the actual program that I had with NASM. I purchased the guide to study, but we'll get into that later. Section 2 is going to be how I studied and the tools that I used to study the actual course with, and then section 3 is going to be the test itself. So if you guys want to skip ahead, feel free, go to like what you guys clicked on this video for. Without further ado, let's just dive into section 1. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and talk about the program itself, the course itself. So I purchased the guided study course through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. In this course, it included a couple of different things. Obviously, it had the test itself, it gave you like a job guarantee, it gave you like connections to like what they called coaches and trainers and stuff, people that you could reach out to if you needed help with it. And then the course itself was a 10-week guided study course, which in each week they were broken up into modules. So for example, like module 1, and they broke the chapters up between modules too, they kind of like jumped around a little bit. Module 1 was pertaining to a certain subject, and it would be chapter 1 and chapter 13, whereas module 2 was just chapter 6. So it was like very broken up with, in opposed to like if you did the self-study, you would probably just start chapter 1 and keep reading all the way to chapter 20. So I did not get that sort of experience, and I think it was better the way that they had broken up. I really did enjoy it because like the concepts sort of intertwined with each other, and then later when we talk about the domains, they kind of followed that same path as well. But the modules themselves, each module had an overall, like obviously the chapters, you would read the chapters, and then you would do activities pertaining to it. There were video lectures that you would watch, they had a discussion question, they had flashcards that were provided, and then they had a quiz for each module. The only difference is though module 5 was a midterm and module 10 was a final with 2 practice finals included. So let's talk about the domains. After the whole guided study, the whole 10-week course or the 10 module course, after the final you took that, it would break it up into the domain portion. The domain portion was probably the most important portion. Like obviously like the content is important, but they broke the content into 6 different domains, and each domain accounted for a certain percentage of the test. Like for example, like domain 6 I think was only 10% of the test, but like domain 3 or whatever was like 22%. I don't know precisely, but they were broken up and it told you how much of each percent of the test or each percent of the domain was likely to be a question on the test. So that was interesting. It really helped me like allocate where I needed to study more. But within the domains themselves, they had an overall study guide, like broken up per domain. So domain 1, study, these are the main topics to like study and stuff. Studying for domain 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it had a webinar attached. Each webinar was like an hour. There was only 5 webinars though. Domain 5 and 6 were combined up into 1 webinar. And then it had a like a quiz that you could take pertaining to each domain. So that was interesting. They also had like an exam test prep webinar that you could listen to. I listened to it. It was pretty much just basic test prep things. It was still interesting to listen to though too. They talked obviously about the test, which is important, but don't focus too much on that. Like if you do have like limited time, really only try to listen to the webinars. But without further ado, let's move on to section 2 of this video. Let's talk about how I studied. So like I had mentioned at the beginning, I studied like hell for this. I finished it in 25 days, day 1 picking up the book and reading it for the first time, and day 25 taking the exam. So I studied like crazy. I did maybe like 5-hour minimums each day of literally just studying the material. So a little bit of background about myself. I am a business administration major, so I don't really have much like science background going into this. And so the actual like content itself was a lot more science-based than I was kind of anticipating, and I'm not good at science, so that was sort of a gray area for me. But yeah, so that is where that come from. But I'm also very interested in fitness. For the past 3 years, I've been going to the gym like very heavily. I love fitness. I've been super interested in it. Mostly in the past like 2 years, I actually worked at a supplement shop for a little bit, got some more knowledge there, and I've just fallen in love with the subject itself, which is why I decided to take the CPT exam and go after getting certified. But less about me and more about how I studied, what you guys are here for. So I studied like crazy, 5 hours a minimum a day of just studying the material. I did 1 module every maybe like 1 or 2 days. I would complete a module, and I would use every single resource that was given to me by the guided study. I know I didn't work within like the realms of what they had it like laid out for the 10-week module per week thing, but they said it was fine to work ahead, but I didn't want to lose out on any of the resources that they had given me, so I did everything. I did I read all the chapters with it. I watched all the chapter videos. After reading each chapter, like the chapters were broken up into paragraphs, I guess you would call it. Like after every few paragraphs, they would have like a summary of what you just read. I would pause there and take notes in a different notebook, just because I am like a very the type of learner that I am, where if I write it out, it helps me memorize it a lot better. Like even if I rarely reviewed my notes, but if I had just written it out, it would really like grind it into my brain. And so that helped me out a lot. And on top of just reading the chapter and taking notes, I watched the video lectures, and then I did all the activities, and I did the discussion questions, even though I wasn't able to turn them in until the week was opened up. So I'm only on like week 3, I think, right now on the actual guided study, so I have only turned in 3 of like the 8 discussion questions that I did, but they were super helpful too, because they allowed me to actually go out into like the real world and implement them and actually think about a scenario, which helped me to further understand the concepts, which I think was super important on doing well on the test. Like not just knowing the answers, but actually understanding the concept, because then you could kind of have a question that maybe you didn't know the answer to, and you could work your way down to getting the answer because you understand the concept itself, which I think is super important. But on top of doing that, I also took all of the quizzes within each module, and then I took the flashcards that they provided per module, and I rewrote them on Quizlet. And this was, I think, one of like the biggest things that helped me out, because I studied them like crazy on there too. I studied them until I knew the answers, and I found that a lot of the answers from the quizzes and from like the module quizzes and from the domain quizzes and the knowledge check were actually on my test. Like I saw like maybe out of the 120 questions, maybe like 30 of them were just straight questions that I had already studied and already answered from those that I had recognized. So that I think was super important for me. On top of that, if you guys want, I'll actually provide the link down to my Quizlet discussions. I grouped it all up in like one big NASAM class, so you guys can just click on that and check it out. But when it came to the domains, so the main flashcards that I had made were from the modules 1 through 10. This is where it gets kind of complicated. So on the guided study, it's modules 1 through 10, right? And so those were the flashcards straight from there that I took and I made into modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8, because 9 and 10 weren't really, they didn't have flashcards, they were like the final and like final prep stuff. So those were from the actual like chapters themselves, and then I made domain questions too, but those ones I made based off of the quizzes that they had per domains. So I took the quizzes like 5 times, and all of the answers that I got wrong I put onto a Quizlet flashcard for me to study. So those are only based off of things that I personally didn't know, so I'm not sure how much they would help you guys out if you're looking to study for the CPT exam. But I will include the link below, so if you want to go study those, feel free, use them. I'm not going to use them any longer since I've passed. But yes, please feel free to use them. They help me out a whole bunch. On top of that, I took the overall knowledge test, because at the beginning of the domains, it had like the knowledge test. After I'd studied all the domains and listened to the webinars and did the flashcards on Quizlet, I took the knowledge test maybe like 4 or 5 times, just to kind of see like what exactly it was that I really still needed to study into. And then I did just that. That led to me actually making Post-it notes. You can kind of see along the top here. I'll show you guys a photo, but I made a whole bunch of Post-its of things that I needed to know. They mostly consisted of like really intense things, so like the muscles, I didn't know those that well, like the overhead squat, particularly which muscles were overactive, underactive, for which compensations, the pronation distortions, the postural distortions, so pronation distortion, upper cross, lower cross syndrome. I didn't know those too well, but I like writing them out really helped me notice that the two were linked. Like underactive muscles were lengthened muscles, and overactive muscles were shortened muscles within this distortion syndrome. So that, I don't know if that helps you guys out at all, but it helped me out a lot finding that out. And then finally, like the resistance exercises per OPT model, those were super intricate. Like it was all just like numbers. You had to know how many reps, how many sets, what the rest time was, what the tempo was for each phase of the OPT model. And so I wrote those out too on Post-its, and that really helped me like to memorize it. Like I said, I am like a, I don't know what type of learner it'd be considered, but once I write something out and I can like stare at it, like, it really helps me memorize it more. So that is section 2. That is how I studied. Let's talk about what I feel like most of you guys are here for, section 3, actual test day. So today was my actual day of the test. I took my test at 1. It is currently 3:18. So it's very soon after my test. I just kind of like sat down right after I took it and wrote this out. But basically my test was online. It was online proctored because of coronavirus. Most PSI locations had been shut down, and The online test was just the most easier test to take. It was very heavily proctored. So they proctored it by, I think the app, the Chrome extension was called like Proctor IU or something. But it was super intense. I didn't take it in this room because this room is filled with a lot of junk, and I just felt like it would have been too hard to take it in here. Plus, in my house, there's a lot of distractions, so I went to my grandparents' home. But basically, you get online, right, and you give them total access to your computer. They can see your screen, they can see your microphone, they can see your camera, they can hear you through the microphone, and they can, like, ask you for access to. So he had asked me to, like, give over control or whatever, so I did, and he was able to, like, move stuff around and click on things on my screen itself. So that was, it was heavily proctored. So then after he had gotten through taking over like all the permissions on the computer itself, I had to give him like a tour of the room essentially. So I had to show him the 4 walls, the one behind me, in front, like all 4 walls. I had to show him the doors and location, and then where I put my laptop down at had to be with the door like in the background so he could see if anybody was coming in or out. I had to show him the desk that I was taking it on. I had to show him like a mirror to show the reflective screen of the laptop to make sure maybe that like there wasn't like anything written on the laptop or anything, like on the actual surface itself. And then I had to show him me putting my phone down on the other side of the room. And then he asked me to show him my arms and wrists and stuff in case maybe I didn't have answers written down, and I had to put my watch down with my phone too. Then what I wasn't expecting, because I had read all of that too, he asked to see my ears to see if like I didn't have like headphones in or any type of like listening devices, I guess, which is kind of clever. So they were super thorough on that note. Oh, and then they also like ID verified you too. So like there's no chance of cheating on this at all. If you guys had like hopes of going into this and using like some type of aid or like support of any type, it's very hard to find any type of way to cheat because they are super thorough on it. But aside from that, the test itself is 120 questions. 100 of them are graded. 20 of them are what's called like research questions. So they kind of use those to keep the test fresh. So that was like how it was explained to me. They use the research questions to make sure the test is like not asking old questions, and it's asking questions that are challenging and up to date and things of that nature. So only 100 of them are scored, and you have to get a 70% or better. It was kind of annoying though because they didn't tell you what percentage you got right on the test, and I was kind of looking forward to knowing what I'd gotten right. But because I had studied like crazy, I think I actually overstudied. I was able to take the test in only 40 minutes, which I am relieved by because I've never been like a long test taker. I hate reading over the answers. Like if I didn't know the answer, like I'm going over it. Like I'm not gonna just find it out later. That's always been my like philosophy on the whole thing. But the system itself, it was cool. It allowed you to like bookmark questions. So if there was some that I was like maybe I would bookmark it, and then later it would like at the end of it you can always go back and like selectively click on the bookmark questions. So that was super helpful too. I definitely used that to my advantage. But out of the 120 questions, the ones that had come up the most for me were definitely, for one, the assessment test questions, like the overhead squat assessment. It would give you compensations, and it would ask you what muscles were underactive or overactive, or it asked a lot about like the postural distortion syndromes, postural distortion syndromes, and asked you which muscles were shortened or lengthened. So I was super glad that I had made those post-it notes and reviewed them, because that was something that I wasn't completely sure of, and because of the fact that I'd studied them so intensely, I was very sure of it, which, go study that, please. They're all over this test. I do want to disclose though too to you guys, like your questions are going to be different than mine probably. There are, I heard there was like 500 questions total in the actual like question bank that they can ask you, so maybe like 1 in every 5 person gets like the same type of questions. But definitely like your test could be totally different from mine. My test could have been totally different from yours or from another person who's made a video about it. So don't just go off of what I've said and be like, okay, study this and only this. No, you need to know a variety of different things. Another thing that was also on mine, obviously going in line with the overhead squat assessment and the lengthen and shorten muscles and distortion syndromes, it was talking about like a lot of heavy muscle pertaining questions. So it was also like questions like if you're doing like a chest press, what muscle is the agonist or the synergist, or things of that nature. So that was very heavily asked on my questionnaire. Like that, I had a lot of different questions that popped up pertaining to that. Another thing that appeared quite frequently on mine was nutrients, talking about nutritionals and like macronutrients and stuff. So it asked a lot about, not a lot, but I mean a variety of different questions popped up asking about like proteins and carbohydrates and sugars or lipids. So kind of study those probably. Those are a lot of the things that you need to know. Those are what popped up mostly on my test. It also had a lot of subjective versus like objective assessment questions. Those are ones that also popped up repeatedly. So it asked you like what just for example, like it would be like, oh, like an objective test would be what, or which one of these is a subjective information. So those were very easy to kind of study. That was like probably one of the easiest things to differentiate for me. For one of the videos, the lecture notes had said like subjective is what the subject tells you, so that's always how I memorized it. I don't know if that helps you guys out, but definitely like try to study those in a way that's going to be helpful for you. And then I also had a lot of like OPT related questions, which obviously that's their whole system. You need to know the different phases, all the way from stabilization to power, and know sort of like what each one is pertaining to within there. So study the crap out of those and out of like the actual distortion patterns and the overhead assessments, and you guys will probably be just fine. I really do hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel for more lifestyle content. I'm going to be making a video next Sunday actually that is just like study habit and study tactic specific. So it isn't like related to the CPT exam in any way, shape, or form, but it is like just study habits that I use to study for the exam. As like an overall, like anything you can use. Like you can use these study habits to study for classes, study for X, Y, or Z. So if you guys want to check that out, check it out. Next Sunday I'm going to be releasing it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more lifestyle related content. I really do hope this helped you guys out. If you have anything that I didn't cover, any questions about the test or anything that I can help answer for you, comment down below. I'll respond to you guys as soon as I can. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this benefited you guys at least a little bit. And I will catch you guys next Sunday with a new video. Bye!